ARMY believes the unexpected Jungkook duet was more than a performance. It was a promise. Tokyo, July 5, 2025. When Jin stood on stage at the Tokyo Dome for the opening night of his solo tour #RunSeokjin_P2_Japan, fans were already emotional. But no one could have predicted what happened halfway through the set. Jungkook walked silently onto the stage, joining Jin in a stripped-down, emotional duet of Still With You. There were no introductions, no dramatic fanfare. Just two brothers, one just starting his solo chapter, the other quietly showing up for him. And yet, the impact of that moment has been anything but quiet. The crowd gasped. Some cried. Phones shook in disbelief. And then came the look, a silent exchange between Jin and Jungkook, brief but powerful. A small smile, a subtle nod, and a gentle shoulder touch. It lasted less than 5 seconds, but for ARMY, it said everything. That wasn't just support. One fan posted on X. That was a message. Jin's not doing this alone. Jungkook wanted us to know that. Across fan forums and media outlets, this moment has taken on a life of its own. Theories, breakdowns, slow-motion replays. It's clear that this wasn't just a surprise performance. It was a statement. Some fans believe this was Jungkook's way of honoring Jin, who was the first BTS member to enlist in the military and now the first to begin a full-scale solo tour. Others believe it was a quiet way to assure fans that, even as members pursue individual careers, their bond remains unbreakable. Industry insiders are calling it one of the most emotionally charged appearances in recent K-pop memory. In just a few minutes, Jungkook reminded the world why BTS's bond is unique, said entertainment columnist Park Ji-won. They don't need grand announcements. A shared song, a silent nod, that's enough to move millions. The moment is already being compared to other legendary BTS milestones. The 2020 Map of the Soul, On, E! Online concert, their speech at the UN, and Jin's enlistment send-off. But this felt different. This wasn't about closure. It was about continuity. Some fans have gone as far as saying this was the soft beginning of BTS's second chapter, a way to ease back into group activities without making a loud declaration. And given that the group is confirmed to begin working on a new album in the US later this year, many see this moment as a carefully placed emotional breadcrumb. Still, others highlight the purity of the gesture. Jungkook didn't need to say anything, wrote one Japanese fan. He just showed up. That's how deep their friendship is. That's how BTS tells stories, without speaking. HYBE has yet to release an official statement about the appearance, and neither Jin nor Jungkook have posted about it on their personal Weverse accounts. But that silence seems to be part of the magic. It lets fans fill in the blanks, not with noise, but with meaning. For ARMYs worldwide, the message is clear. Even apart, they are never truly alone. Even solo, they are still BTS. And for Jin, beginning this new chapter in his career, the presence of his youngest member wasn't just a surprise. It was a silent promise, a promise that whatever lies ahead, he won't be walking into it alone. As the lights dimmed after the final chorus of Still With You, Jungkook offered one last look to Jin, a soft smile that was met with a quiet laugh from the elder. It was subtle, but in that brief moment, the entire Tokyo Dome understood something unspoken. This wasn't about fan service, it was about family. Jungkook exited the stage as quietly as he had arrived, disappearing into the shadows without a word. The crowd, momentarily stunned, erupted into thunderous applause. Some fans clutched their banners tighter, others wiped away tears. Even longtime concertgoers admitted they had never felt anything quite like it. "I've seen BTS live 5 times, said Ayumi Tanaka, a fan from Osaka. But tonight, Jin and Jungkook reminded me why we fell in love with them in the first place. It's not just the music, it's the heart behind it." That heart was on full display, not in loud statements or planned fanfare, but in mutual respect, quiet understanding, and a kind of brotherhood that doesn't require a microphone to be heard. Social media exploded with reactions, GIFs, and emotional posts. The hashtags #JinKookOnStage, #StillWithYouTokyo, and #BTSIsForever trended across Japan, Korea, and the United States. Countless clips of the duet went viral within hours. Even major global media outlets like Billboard, Rolling Stone, and the Japan Times began covering the moment. In the days that followed, fans and commentators alike began to draw connections between this surprise moment and BTS's next chapter. With the group confirmed to begin album production in the US later this year, and all members officially discharged from military service by mid-2025, many are speculating that the Jungkook moment may have been an intentional, quiet spark to reintroduce the idea of BTS's full return. Even Bang Si-hyuk, the founder of HYB, added to the mystery when he reposted a fan photo of the performance on his private Instagram story with a simple caption, "Chapter 2 quietly begins." Was it a tease, a confirmation, or simply a message of pride? Whatever it was, it lit a fire under ARMY, further deepening the emotional connection between the group and their global fanbase. For Jin, this performance marks more than the start of his solo tour. It is a declaration of strength, vulnerability, and growth. For Jungkook, it's proof that even amid his own path, his loyalty to his Hyung and to BTS is unwavering. And for the world, it's a reminder that BTS's story is far from over. Whether this was a one-time gesture or the beginning of something larger, ARMYs will never forget the night when a silent glance between two brothers spoke louder than any announcement ever could. Because when it comes to BTS, the moments that matter most are the ones they never have to explain as the tour moves on to other cities across Japan, Osaka, Nagoya, and beyond. Fans are now holding their breath. Will there be another unannounced appearance? Could another member of BTS step onto Jin's stage, just like Jungkook did? Or was this moment a one-time gift, meant to live in memory forever? The mystery is part of the magic. Even without confirmation, fans have already begun booking tickets to the next stops, not only to support Jin, but in hopes of witnessing another intimate, history-making surprise. The phrase, "Jin's tour isn't just a concert, it's a pilgrimage," has begun circulating online, a testament to how deeply the performance has resonated with the BTS fandom. What makes this all the more powerful is the silence that surrounds it. No flashy press release, no hype machine, no behind-the-scenes footage yet. Just emotion, captured live and carried forward through word of mouth and the strength of ARMY. For Jin, known for his composure and quiet strength, the Tokyo Dome performance seemed to reflect his philosophy perfectly. That sincerity doesn't need to shout. That real love between fans, between brothers, needs no explanation. Jungkook's presence only amplified that message. Though he's known for his explosive performances and vocal power, this time he chose restraint. A single song, one heartfelt look, a whisper the cameras couldn't catch. But even that whisper shook the fandom to its core. They didn't have to say anything. One fan commented on Weverse. Jin smiled. Jungkook nodded. That was the conversation. That was enough. And in a world where content is often overproduced and overshared, BTS once again proved that authenticity is their greatest power. They don't need to chase headlines. They become the headlines. They don't need to announce a comeback. They let love lead So now, as Jin prepares for his next stage and Jungkook quietly returns to his own projects, fans are left with a single, powerful image. Two silhouettes under a spotlight, singing about staying close, even in silence, a reminder that the ties that bind BTS and the bond they share with ARMY aren't just strong, they're eternal. And while no one knows exactly what's coming next, one thing is certain. If this was a message, the world heard it loud and clear. The ripples of that night in Tokyo continue to spread, not just through the fandom, but across the global entertainment industry. Music critics are calling it a masterclass in subtle storytelling. Industry veterans are praising BTS once again for rewriting the rules of performance, branding, and emotional connection. But for Jin and Jungkook, perhaps it was never about sending a message to the world. Perhaps it was just one older brother starting his solo journey, and his younger brother quietly choosing to walk beside him, if only for one song. It's this kind of honesty that has defined BTS since their debut. Long before the stadiums, awards, and chart-topping records, they were simply 7 boys who leaned on each other, both on stage and off. And even now, with solo paths unfolding, military duties behind them, and global eyes watching every move, they remain, at their core, brothers. The Tokyo performance didn't need choreography, explosive visuals, or elaborate fanfare. It had something far more powerful: trust. Jin trusted Jungkook to join him without overshadowing. Jungkook trusted Jin's stage enough to step into it with quiet reverence. And both trusted ARMY to understand the weight of their moment, without a single word of explanation. As speculation grows around BTS's planned return to group activities later this year, this performance may be looked back on not just as a surprise, but as a turning point, a quiet signal that, piece by piece, BTS is coming home. In a few months, all 7 members will be reunited in the United States.